In Independence Hall, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Tom, Alex, George, and James slide into a back room after a heated argument in the main debate hall.
Alex, are you out of your mind? How can you even bring up such an idea?
What? I thought this was what we were doing here, bringing up ideas. I just need to say my piece.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, that is the goal here. But a king? Really? We just threw off one of the most tyrannical kings to ever rule. Our nation fought to get rid of a king, to rule ourselves as a people. And here you are, proposing that we go right back to that?
Understand my point. The Articles of Confederation didn't work. Why? Because we had no central authority. That is what a king offers. One person to make all of the important decisions. It gets rid of all of this squabbling so that government can actually get something done. We can make George king. We know that he would be fair and make good decisions for us all.
Hey, leave me out of this. I'm just here to make sure you guys don't hurt each other.
You know, Tom, he does make a point. That is the reason why the Articles failed. We should have some sort of central government with a person to make decisions on the top.
Yeah, maybe, but not a king. We'll have to call him something else. And there has to be a way to check his power. One man cannot make all the decisions. It's against everything we fought for.
Well, the people could directly elect the person in charge.
Not a chance. People are idiots. The majority of people barely understand what is best for their household, let alone the country. We can't put the decision-making power of electing a supreme authority in the hands of the people.
There you go again, doubting the people. The people got us here, and now you just want to throw them by the wayside. By the by, there's no way the people would ratify anything with someone who has supreme authority. You can throw that idea right out.
That is what we need, though. Someone to make decisions that we the people live by.
Right, well, what about creating a system to check the supreme authority's power?
Can we stop saying supreme authority? Let's call it something else.
How about this? Is Supreme Leader the President of the United States?
No, none of this supreme stuff.
How about just the President of the United States?
I could live with that. It sounds like he would still make final decisions on everything. Someone with the power to make decisions who would preside over us all.
Fine. Who cares about a name? We still need a way to check his power. And don't forget all those governors out there who think they have the authority in their territory.
Well, the president would only be making decisions that impact everyone, right? So governors would still have the power to make decisions for the people in their states.
Good point, George. Governors would still have the power in their state. The president would make decisions for the federal government. He would have supreme authority over the country as a whole. Then he wouldn't have to make decisions about little things in each local area or each state.
Stop saying this president would have supreme authority. He can't. We have to put in safeguards to stop that from happening.
Right, well, we just decided on one with the states and local government having the power to make decisions for their jurisdictions. That limits the president to making decisions that just impact everyone.
No, no, no! That is one stop, but it can't be one guy who makes all the decisions.
Well, what if the people were to vote for representatives to make laws that the president would then have to decide on?
That sounds good to me. Then it is the people elected, the lawmakers, who just give the president the final choice about the laws they pass. The Congress can even pick who they want to be in the role of president.
No, the people need to elect the president. The people and the states need to have more power in this federal authority. I like the idea of elected representatives. We can work those details out later. But the president needs to be elected by the people.
How about the people vote to tell their representatives who they want, and then the representative, the people who represent that people, actually do the decision making? I could live with that. Then at least we have some protection against the uninformed masses.
Well, as long as the representatives are doing their job, I guess you're right, that should work. I don't see any problems with that.
Right, just to review. We are going to have a president of the United States with the final say on laws which will be passed by a Congress. The Congress has a final say on who the people elect to be president. The Congress is filled with elected officials who represent the people of the states. So, who is going to make sure these rules are followed?
Also, we need to figure out who will protect the states and the people from this federal government. Let us not forget that we're talking about the people's individual rights and state rights. Justice is easily trampled by people with so much power.
What about a Supreme Court to make the ultimate decisions on justice?
There's nothing supreme about anything. There is no one person who decides on anything.
But what if we do have a Supreme Court? One place to figure out whether or not the government is breaking any of the rules. They should be experts in the law who can make sure that everyone is upholding our goals and principles. They could hear cases from anywhere, if it has to do with the Constitution. They will make the final judgment on any national concern, and what they say goes for everyone. That would really be a Supreme Court.
I like it. The Supreme Court. I should be on it.
Not a chance, Alex. There still needs to be some kind of check on this person. In fact, it should be a group of people, not just one person making a ruling that would impact our entire nation.
I agree. A small group of people in an odd number so a decision can always be reached, like the triumvirates of ancient Rome. I think the president should put these justices into place.
The president is not directly elected. He can't have that kind of power. And it's too much for a large group of representatives to negotiate out. I'll tell you what, I'll give on a Supreme Court if the president nominates the candidates, but the elected representatives from each state have to approve whoever they are.
I can agree with that.
Right, so are we all done in here? Can we go join the rest of the group now?
I got what I wanted for the most part.
I thought we were ready a while back.
Well, Tom, are we ready to present this to the whole group?
Just a quick review. A federal government with a president who's put in place by elected representatives and who was nominated by the people. Congress, who makes the laws. The president, who approves the laws. And a Supreme Court to make sure that the people and the states are protected. There seem to be checks and balances on everyone. The states and local governments still have all the power. That doesn't concern the whole nation. Seems like a good place to start from.
Good, then we're done here. I don't know how much longer I can be in a room with you, Tom.
Just to be fair, we aren't done yet. We still have to figure out how many represent who, how many people are elected, how will slaves count, not to mention the problems between the big states and the little states. This isn't over yet, Alex.
I know.